Welcome and hello to everyone out there, and welcome to our broadcast today. I have Neo Anderson from Light in the Darkness on the other side here, and we're going to be discussing today a little bit of light and darkness. We really don't have a set topic to talk about, but this is what we want to do is to go back and forth with each other because I've known Neo for God knows how long, how many years now, and we have followed each other spiritually in different routes. And if you go to his channel, you'll hear some of his journey. But Neo, how you doing today, brother?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, he's on the
I'm
other.
glad that I'm
Yeah,
very glad that I'm here with you today. Thank God.
yes,
Thank you, the Creator.
and you're on the other side of the world from me. That's what makes it so cool. We've known each
Yeah,
other for a long time, and we live in different worlds. Basically, one's in Europe and one's in America, and we just really have been seeking truth for a long time. We've all gone through the major religions, basically, and what we both have found out is within each of with each of the religions, we have truth and untruth in all of them. And one thing that Neo does so well within these books is finding the light and the darkness in these books. And I guess that's a good place to start, Neo. As how did you get to this point to where you realize that these books have both light and darkness, and the dogma is the trap? And from there, how do we free ourselves?
yes, good question. So it start from back in the day when I was 7 Day Adventist. Uh, Actually, I was a little kid when my dad used to go to these Jehovah Witnesses congregations, and he had these books and people visit him all the time. They spoke about they call it Jehovah, you know, and they spoke about God and the Creator. They had these interesting books with pictures and so on. And I was interested to hear. I don't know why. Always, I was there, with them, trying to understand what they are speaking. I had questions. As a little boy, I was asking the question. But then again, my father, he never baptized because he was smoking, and they don't want this. They have their rules. You cannot smoke and became a Jehovah Witnesses. But after it, I was in one place with one another guy, and he was a Seventh Day Adventist. And when he heard that I was interested in Jehovah Witnesses, uh, he said to me, "Are you a Jehovah Witness?" I said, "Not yet, but I'm interested in this. I want to learn and so on. I know some stuff. I think that this is the way for me, the right way." And then he started asking me some questions. Of course, he denied the unity, the monetism, and he started asking me questions about First John. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and God was Word. And he asked me, "How do you understand this? How you say that Jesus is not God, and we read here that He is God?" So it was for me strange. I didn't know so much, so I was confused. And then he asked me, "Do you keep the Ten Commandments?" I said, "Yes, we keep." Jehovah Witnesses also recognize Ten Commandments in the Torah. And then he asked me, "What is the fourth commandment?" You know, and of course, remember the seventh day. Remember the Sabbath. And he asked me, "Do you keep this day?" I said, "No, because they say that it is for the Jews." So he said, "It is funny because the first commandment is actually about God, taking out sons of Israel, redeem them, and he's Yahweh. you know uh, the first commandment is, 'I'm Yahweh your God that took you out from Egypt. Don't have any other gods beside me.'" So why do you then believe in this commandment? Why do you keep this commandment? It is for the Jews. You read it there.
That's
And
good.
I said, yes, it is good. And I said, yes, he have right, you know. And then I will start to studying those stuff. And I never could agree with Trinity. Just that I couldn't agree with this. It had so many holes there
Right.
in that theology. So, but I said, there is only one. I didn't know that there are different, denomination that keep this day. I thought that only 7 Day Adventists, keep the Sabbath. So I said, okay, I will start studying this community. I want to go there. So I found that guy again, and I said, okay, let me go to your church. I want to know more about this. And then after some time, I converted there. I baptized, and I became a 7 Day Adventist. And after some years of studying, because I can not only stay uh, without reading, without taking knowledge. Uh, so I want to study for myself. I don't want to believe and somebody say to me, this is how it is. I want to know for myself. I want to study. I want to check the stuff. And after it, I find out that the chapter, the verse that they take to defend their theology, it is actually in Isaiah, Yeshayahu, the prophet Isaiah, and it is the verse that says, from the new moon to the new moon, and from the Sabbath to the Sabbath, all flesh will come before me to bow down, to worship me. And I said, okay, you take this verse to defend the Sabbath, and what is about the new moon? It is the same. He didn't divide the new moon from the Sabbath.
Right.
So I was checking some stuff on forum there on internet, and then I find out about other people that are thinking like me. That was Messianic Jews. Those guys are very interesting. They also were speaking about monotheism and so on. So I start, I find another guy from Messianic, so I study with him, and then I actually became a Messianic. I didn't convert, and so I just left this congregation, 7 Day Adventist. I said, okay, this is not for me. I'm sorry, guys. I don't find anymore that this is satisfaction for me. Satisfactionary true. It is not the true that I see it as a true. And of course, they were angry. They were, but it is another topic. And then when I yes, and then when I became Messianic, we were studying every Sabbath. I would start keeping those feast days, and we were reading the prophet and the Torah, and then we find out that New Testament have some holes. You know, it ended in a way that we lived Jesus. We said, okay, Jesus is not the Messiah. And then where we need to go now. You know After it, I said, okay, the only thing where I can go is Judaism because it is the source of those stuff, that we learn. And of course, I was preparing myself for Gur. I was Noahide sometimes. And then I had one strange dream. I have one group there on Facebook, and I was always against those Muslims. I was actually, fighting with them. I didn't like them. I never studied the Quran. I never read the Quran. And one day, one night, I was having one dream about the Quran. One voice said to me, uh, it was a cup of coffee, and when you drink the coffee and then stay those the black things, like symbols. The witches, I think they are reading those signs, and then one voice I think it is from the right side. It said to me, you know what? Read these signs, for me. And then I wanted to say, okay, you know what? I'm not involving myself in this stuff. I don't know this. I'm not doing this. And when I turned my head to see this cup of coffee, it was not anymore the cup of coffee. It was now the book, you know,
Wow.
and it was the Quran. And all those letters were written in gold, And then again, that voice said to me, read it. And I said, I don't know Arabic. And now I see one guy that I know, it was my cousin, and I know that he speak Arabic. I know that he is a Muslim. And then he said, "You don't know, but I know." And then start to saying to me some stuff. And when I woke up, I said, "Okay, what is now this?" And then suddenly I was interested in this book.
Right.
So I buy this book. No, I get it from one guy, and I will start reading it. And then it was fabulous to see that there are similar things from the Torah, from the Bible. It was actually what I always like. For example, I always love this prayer with bowing down, prostration, because I was reading this in Bible. Solomon that did it, David did it, all of those guys did it. So I always ask myself and the people around me that are religious. I said, okay, why we don't worship God in the way that it is described in the Bible, in the Torah, in the Tanakh? Also in New Testament, we see Jesus go there a little bit far away. I don't know how long, how do you say? I don't know how much he was going away from disciples, and then he was bowing down, worship the Creator. But they only said, you know what, it is that is you can forget this. It is in Old Testament and so on. And Jesus did only this for the Jews because of the Jews. I said okay, but of course always it was always in my head. And when I saw this stuff in the Quran, for me it was very, very interesting. And after it I decide to, because I was reading, I was studying, I like those stuff in the Quran. It was, for me, it was like a balance. You don't need to, because in the Quran you don't have, for example, Jesus fulfilled this prophecy from Isaiah chapter 7, verse 14, virgin. We know that it is not the virgin.
Right.
And you don't have this in the Quran. And you don't have that he is God. You don't have these problems that you have there in New Testament. And you believe in one creator, you do the good deeds. uh, give a little bit from your money to the poor. uh, prostration. You wash your body before you prayer. You give respect to the Creator. It was, for me, it was acceptable in that time. It
Right.
was good stuff. So I accepted. I converted there, and I didn't know that they also have some problems, between themselves. There are many branches, in Islam. You have, for example, you have Sunni Muslims and you have Shia Muslims. And also in the Sunni Muslims you have four shuls, you know uh, and they accept all four, but they don't do the same stuff, for example. So it was for me politic. And also I find out that they take other books, for their source of religious beliefs, these hadiths. And of course, I'm a reasonable guy. I want to think with my mind, with my head, because all around the Quran, you will find God says, "Oh, you who have reason," you know. So he speak to the reasonable being. He wants you to think. He wants you to use your head. Not like an animal. So those hadiths for me, it was, you read there something that you cannot read in the Quran, and not only that, they make their prophet to be, pedophile, war criminal, and I don't know what, and you don't have this in the Quran. Also, they ignore some verses. For example, you have in chapter 2 from the Quran, 190 verse 190, it says, fight with those that fight you, but don't start the battle. The Allah doesn't like those that make violence, that they attack first. And then they actually, they believe in abrogation. They believe that the verses that came before are abrogated with the verses that came after. So in Mecca, verses in Mecca are abrogated with verses in Medina. For example, alcohol. The first, it was, you can even pray, if you take a couple of drinks, but when you know what you are speaking, you can even pray. But then after it, we read that, the wine, the other things also are, deeds from shaitan. So don't do this. It is not actually like a commandments, but it say that it is a deeds of shaitan, and of course it cannot be good. you know so I saw, uh, after it, I saw that, there in all of those books, because if you are in one religion, you don't see this stuff. You see in other people's books problems. And I wanted, because it was terrible to see how, when they attack your book, when it is no problem when you attack other people's books, but when they attack your books, you see that it is not good, it is wrong. And also you can see that there are also problems in your book, not only in their book. So then I start to searching. I didn't want to ask people that belong to that religion. I want to read those people that are not religious, that are atheist. I want to see how they understand those books, what things they find are that are contradicting, other things in the books. So I saw that there are actually, you know, one and another way. It is not the same, and that is why people are dividing between themselves. They are divided because one guy take this verse for authority, and other guy take that verse for authority, and they try to combine these. They don't want to say, okay, I don't accept this because it is contradicting this. Because, for example, look at John 2017. John 2017, it says, don't touch me because I'm going to the Father. I'm going to, but tell to my disciple, to my brothers. It specifically say to my brothers, I'm going to my Father and to their Father, to my God and to their God. And we read now that he is not God.
Right.
And then we read in First John, it is the same book, the same book. First John, it says, in the beginning was the Word, and Word was with the God, and God was Word.
Right.
And now you need to combine these to, somehow to make peace between these verses, and you cannot do this. You can never do this. Uh, you will be, for example, yeah, Jehovah Witness that will believe in this verse from John 20:17, or you will be Trinitarian that will believe, First John, and that will be your base, your ground. And this is what I saw, that all books have two ways. And then I find out that in the Quran there is actually very nice verse, and it says, there was no prophet or messenger when they recited, that Satan. So you know what is the meaning of Satan? The one that is in opposition, So that Satan didn't put something, in those recitation, and God allowed. Then another verse explained that God allowed this, because there are people that search for this stuff, with corrupted heart. So this is the first station. This is the first point where I, I need now to understand that there is, that there is no perfect thing here, that there is no perfect book, that you will always find some stuff there, and that you need to be clever, and you need to search the light in the darkness, and for me, there is, I think that cousin of Muhammad said, it is not important, who wrote, but what was written,
Right.
or who said, but what was said. And I always, say it is not important who wrote, but what was written. And this actually, opened the door for me, because before I didn't read other books, and then I was starting to read other books, and I don't care if those books are channeled. Many people will say, "Okay, be careful, don't go there." It is all from Satan. Of course. But for example, a Current Gospel is fabulous. When you
Yes.
read a Current Gospel, is excellent stuff. You can find. It doesn't important if this is, from some guy that was, channeling, or he invented this stuff. What is important is that there good message for you. In the end of the day, we need to be good people, and all of those stuff, the knowledge that we spoke about this, you and I on Messenger, the knowledge is not only in the book. And what I think when I say the book, I think that, this is the knowledge. Somebody wrote it. Doesn't mean that the guy that had this experience wrote it, but you can say, for example, Mike, you can have one experience,
Right.
and you are now enlightened. Your chakra are open, all of those chakras. And then you say to me something, and I remember this, and after it I put this on paper, and I said, Mike saw the vision, and he received this stuff, in I think it is very good to keep those stuff, and
Right.
now, for the people that read this, they don't need to take everything from this, but if that is the good stuff there, they can build upon their knowledge, and this
Right.
knowledge, you don't, there is also one thing that this guy Ali, actually is a very nice guy, very clever guy. And he said, search the knowledge even to the China, even in China, So that doesn't matter. If this is on sky, you can learn from sky, learn it. You can learn from your body. Actually, a current gospel say, learn from your body.
It does say that. Yes.
If you ask me what to study, I will tell you, study yourself, your body. And again, if you ask me what to study, I will say to you again, study your body. So this is my journey. And if you have some question, it will be nice
Well, I want to
to
kind of
hear.
confirm what I want to confirm some of the things that you're saying, because you're talking about how Islam has different, sects and understanding. All of them do. Judaism, you can't find two Jews to agree. You won't find two Christians to agree, because everybody has their different positions. But really, the Quran, I was in a group years ago that was called Quran Without the Hadiths. And I learned so much from those people, because you start finding out that what we know is modern day Muslims or Islam, and I'm not putting them down in any way, is not actually what the Quran teaches. That there's a lot of additions to that, just within the Talmud, within Judaism, and traditions with Christianity. Is if you want to know the truth, you really have to go to the source and cut off the dogma to truly
Right.
understand what you're reading. And I'm surprised you didn't bring the Coburn Bible up. I am so surprised
No,
you
no,
didn't bring
I,
that
may-
up.
I only cut myself to hear your opinion and your position on this, but I spoke. But then I don't want only to mention the Colbrin Bible. That is excellent book. You know, there are favorite books, for me, and those are the Colbrin Bible first, and then there is also a Current Gospel,
Yes,
and of course the Book of Enoch. I also like that book, and there is also one another book, and people don't like that book because I think that it is even said there that the Satan wrote it, but it is actually good thing there. You can find good stuff there, and it is called Toward the Light, Toward the
yeah,
Light.
love it.
Yes, it is very nice book. I even copied for myself. It is nice book, but no, of course people don't want to read this,
Yeah,
but because they live in box, I can understand this,
right,
and there is also one another book, and it is called Oaspe. And what I like in this book is actually one verse that say, I gave you all of those book, but if you don't judge them, you will be caught in a trap.
and that's right. That's correct.
Very nice stuff. I
Yes,
love this. I love it.
yes,
you know, and I always, and this stuff I actually find out also in Colburn. There is also verse in Colburn that says, like this. You need to be careful. If one stuff contradict other stuff, you take the stuff that is more reasonable for you. You know
right,
so it actually, uh, it admit, that there are actually darkness, in those books, you
right,
know, and then it points you to the right direction. It says, okay, there are those stuff, but skip it.
right,
Take what is good for you, for your journey. It is very important to know that what you take for yourself doesn't mean that it is the ultimate true, and all other need to be converted to your true and to think like you.
right.
That would be selfish, and this is ego, and we don't want this, ego. We don't want to be there, you know
No, no,
so uh, for me, I just want to be better person. If one book will help me to be a better person, I will, you know, I'm coming to this, stage in my life that you know, uh, uh, I don't care what I will follow. I just care that what I follow, can lead me to be a better person, to open my chakras, to
right,
be good for my family first, then for my neighbors, and I don't care if, like you said, there are people there in Nordic place where you know they don't have seasons, they don't have those stuff, they cannot keep those feasts, they can keep it, but they will not have summer, spring, and you will need to have a Passover in the spring,
right,
so it doesn't matter what you keep, if this is what you think it is good for you, for your family, that will bring some fruits, good fruits. So keep. And this is actually what was written in the Colburn, you know.
Right. Yeah,
And
because
this
do
is
you
what
remember that quote about that? About you're not doing it unto
I,
me. It's basically for you. That don't say that you're doing it to for me. Talking about the Creator, you're doing it for yourself to elevate yourself. I can't remember that quote in there. It's a long quote
yes,
though.
yes, excellent quote. I have it here on my phone, and I don't know if I can just go and open it and read it. I don't know if I can put it here
Right.
so we can read it. Is that possible? Maybe
I
is this
have no
possible?
idea. I believe you should be able to ex. I mean, because you're not exiting the app. You're just leaving your phone to another display. Oh, he's gone. Let's see if he comes back here. We'll give him a few minutes, and if he comes back, I'm sure he'll bring it back here. But here he is, right here.
Hear me.
Now you're back. We see you.
I'm back. I'm sorry. I will just.
I told him what probably happened. I was telling him what probably happened.
Okay, this was wrong. So I don't know. I don't know how you can do this.
Well, maybe it'll be another video we can do.
Let me try another one. Think if I'm going out, I will come again.
Okay, that's fine. That's good.
Okay. So
But what he's saying is actually true. Is the fact is you know there's fruit in all of these books. There's fruit in nature. You can learn from all of these things. Like you said, there's fruit from your own self, your own life, of how you look at yourself, what you eat, how your body processes it, how do you feel after certain things. All of this helps you elevate and open those chakras within you. uh that's one thing I like about Kabbalah. I love about North mythology. I love about a lot of these things because if you understand North mythology, it's the climbing of the tree of life, basically up to the top, like Odin did, and it's a spiritual journey. And these things are so important. It's not for everybody, so that's why I believe there's different paths to help you on your way to put yourself where you need to be, on the path you need to be on, and not the path that I'm on or that Neo's on, but something that will help elevate you. And as he said at the end of the day, just make you a better person. Just make you more friendlier to the world and to help the needy. And these are simple things that we make so complicated in life. And I think this is one thing the scripture in the Torah actually teaches is it said that if people are not kind to you, be kind to them. Now I know there's people saying be kind to everybody no matter what, but the fact of the matter is you show grace and mercy where there's grace and mercy given. And that's what we need to be learning. Now, you should be an example at all times, but give everybody a chance. But he'll be finding this. This is an important verse that he's looking up, and we definitely need to hear it from the Cobran Bible, which is an excellent Bible. Also, we're discovering some of the Sikh knowledge, also Sikhism. Uh, and I found out from some of my Sikh people that I've studied on YouTube that Sikh's not so much a definition of religion. Sikhism means seeker of knowledge. So that if you're seeking knowledge to them, you're a Sikh. Now, not within the religion, of course, not wearing the turban and stuff like that. But I do love their knowledge, and I love the knowledge of the Kabbalah. I love the knowledge of uh, so many different spiritual aspects out there. Some Gnosticism. Um, I love a lot of this stuff. Hinduism. Here we go. He's back.
yeah, yeah, I'm here. Can you read this? What I put on chat?
Let me go to chat. Let me find where chat is.
Chat, yes, chat.
Where is it at? No, 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 no,
Uh,
no.
Somewhere there at the bottom. Where is your mic?
I see
Cam?
it. I see it.
Yeah,
Hold on. Invite, settings, stop camera, mute. Uh, get back up here. I don't have the chat. I don't see the chat.
because it says chat with everyone in studio. So you should be uh, you should be able to
I
read
have
this.
I have comments.
But comments, I cannot do anything there. You know, I
Right.
can do only on chat.
Hmm. I don't see it on my end. I mean, I'm sure it's here. I'm just not seeing it.
Too bad.
Yes.
Be-
Whoa.
because
There we are.
you find
Uh,
it.
I have chat, but I don't have nothing sent to me.
Hmm. Okay, so I don't have idea how I can
Yeah.
put this
Well, just
on.
kind of put it in your words, and we can do another video describing it in
Okay, no
detail.
problem, no
Yeah.
problem. Because my English is not so good, and
It's
some stuff I
okay.
can read,
Right.
I can read, but I think that you will not understand.
Right.
Anyway, it says like this, It says the reek. What is the reek? I don't have idea, but it says the reek of your incense smoke rises and disappears into the air, but it comes not unto me, nor do I have need of it. So you see, it's somehow point to that stuff in from the Torah, where
Yes.
those incense and smoke, uh, from the aroma, go to the nose of God and He smell it, nice aroma,
Right.
and it explained that it doesn't go to the Creator.
Right.
And you have also this in the Quran about the sacrifice, about the blood, and he said, that what you kill your animal, blood and flesh, doesn't came to the Creator, but what go to the Creator is your good deed what you made. So you feed the poor with this, and this is what go to the Creator. So
I
intention.
love that. I love that.
Yes. And then it says, yet I will not deny, you see, I will not deny you the pleasure of its fragrance, which can bring
Fragrance. Right.
inner harmony and peace
Right.
by stirring the spirits of men. Nor will I deny you your feasts, if the fetters of wickedness by thereby loosened from your soul. So, in other words, if this is what make you good and close to the Creator,
Yes.
do this stuff, no
Yes.
problems,
Yes.
but do not say that they are undertaken for my benefit of glorification.
Right. I love that. I love that because that means, like you said a while ago, the prostrate prayer means a lot to you. And that edifies you and elevates you. You need to do that, but you're in understanding you're doing it for yourself to help
Yes,
you. That is awesome. I like that.
yes. And then it's go to say about fasting, and then he says fasting and the denial of bodily appetites may
Yes.
serve useful ends for men, but thought you may deceive yourself regarding their intent. Do
Right.
not try to deceive me by mistaking their purpose.
Right.
I have no desire to repress the joy and exuberance that I don't know what it means, welling up in the hearts of men.
Right.
Far rather would I prefer that such humanizing emotion be cultivated.
Right.
Therefore, pray if prayer serves its true purpose, which is to harmonize your spirit with mine so communication becomes possible.
Right. That's awesome. That is
Yes,
awesome.
excellent stuff. Uh, this is why I say always, go read other stuff.
Right.
This is that knowledge that people receive that they take took from their experience. There is even in Colburn, it even go to explain how some people go in caves. They were, they denied food and everything, only to build this connection with the Creator.
Right. Right.
And this is nice stuff.
Right. I agree. And I think this will probably be a good point to start slowing down. We're in a good time limit here, I think. And today's purpose of this show is to introduce you to Neo, and we will be doing a lot of work together here on TikTok. And when we upload this video to my channel and his channel, we will provide the links to both of our TikToks and channels so that we can get you on board. I think there's a lot of people out there that are discouraged. There's a lot of people that are angry at their religion, and unfortunately, they're turning to atheism and agnostics and stuff like that. And you don't have to. The thing is it would
Yeah.
be so. Me and Neo have said so many times it would be so easy just say I'm atheist, forget it. But it's not in my DNA and my purpose to just give up because I think the search is part of the journey. What do you think about that, Neo?
Yes, this is the message that I always, share with other people. Don't leave everything. Why? There are so many good stuff there. You can find for yourself to, don't take everything what is there in the book. It is, those stuff are not all for the guidance,
Right,
there are stuff there's, so
right.
judge, like that book of Aspe said, judge those books,
That's right.
those are, information that came from another source, and you need actually to, how do you say, to
Yes,
filterize them,
yes, yes.
to
You got
put
to
them
have
to
this
filter.
discernment, and one thing you say all the time, Neo, that resonates with me. You got to have reasoning. It's got to make sense. It can't just be, oh, I believe this because of this. There's got to be a reason behind what you're understanding.
Yes, yes. Like I said, there are things that you must believe. For example,
Right,
like, life after death. You will believe. Somebody will say, okay, there is judgment day. Somebody will say, okay, there is reincarnation.
right.
But we don't know. What you will believe, it is up on you, but it is not important thing. What is important is that you bring the good fruits in your community, in your society, in your family. First in your family, with your neighbor, and then in the community. And this is important stuff. I think, sometimes I think that we are sent here, to prepare ourselves for VIP, you know
Yeah, yeah.
So think like this. Think like
Well,
this, and live for it. Live for this. Fight with your inner self. That don't allow you to open your chakras. This is
that's
very
right.
very important.
That's right. And something else we talked about before we went live here on Messenger earlier is something Neo brought up is we are living for death basically. We know that the end is coming. We know Ragnarok, we know the apocalypse within our own self is
Right.
coming. And the thing is we must realize and just do the best we can with what we're doing now, and like you said, don't give up the journey. Keep searching. Read something else. That's Neo's big thing. So but I guess this is a good place to end because I'm getting phone calls from
Okay.
work. And
Okay.
I want to thank everybody for coming. And this is just one of many videos we're going to do. But I wanted to introduce you to Neo and introduce you to what we're going to be discussing. And this is what he discusses on his channel all the time. And as you can tell, he has a real understanding of the Islamic Muslims thing. And the thing is that's where he does a lot of work with because he's bringing the light out of that. And I appreciate that. So, Neo, I thank you for your time. And
No
we
problem,
look
bro.
forward. Yes, and we look forward to more coming on in the future. So we thank you so much. Until next time, blessings on you.
Till next time. Peace to all.
Yes.
Ciao.